Hello students, good morning. So today we are going to discuss about the merits of a joint Hindu family business. So before going to the merits of a joint Hindu family business, so we'll discuss about the features. So in the previous class we discussed about the features of joint Hindu family business, as well as we studied what is joint Hindu family business. What is joint Hindu family business? So joint Hindu family business is a form of organization wherein the business is owned and carried on by the members of Hindu undivided family. It is a form of business organization owned and carried on by the members of Hindu undivided family. So this joint Hindu family business is governed by the Hindu law. So the basis of membership in the business is birth in a particular family, and three successive generation of the family can be the owners, the can be the members of the business. So there is a rule here. So the eldest person or the eldest member of the family is called as karta, and he will be controlling the business organization. So he is the head of the family, he is the eldest member, and he is called as karta. So all the members, they will have equal ownership right over the property of the ancestor, and they, that is the members of the joint in the family business, is called as co-partners. So the people or the members other than the karta is called as co-partners. Yes. So we also discussed about features. So the first one was formation. So I told you that when coming to joint in the family business, there should be at least two members in the family. I mean, in a family, and what they have to do is like they should inherit the what property of the ancestor, or ancestral property has to be inherited by them. So this kind of business organization, they does not require any agreement, as membership is by birth. So once the child is born in the particular family, that is in the undivided family, he becomes the member of that particular business. So this is totally governed by the Hindu Succession Act of 1956. So the second one was liability. So when coming to liability, it's like the liability of all the members of the Hindu undivided family business except karta will be limited, whereas karta will have unlimited liability. Karta will have unlimited liability in the business organization. So if the business asset is not sufficient to pay the liability, then only karta will have to get his personal asset into the business organization. Only karta will have to get the his personal asset into the business organization in order to pay the liability. So the third one was control. So when coming to control, the family business, it totally lies in the hands of karta. So he takes all the decisions on the organization. So he is authorized to manage the business organization. So his decisions, or the decision which is taken by karta, will be final when coming to joint Hindu family business. So whatever decision karta takes, so that particular decisions will bind all the other members of the organization. Okay, so the fourth one was continuity. So when coming to continuity, I told you that business continues even after the death of karta. So when karta dies, what happens? The immediate next elder person of the family, Yes, the next eldest person of the family takes the position of karta. So what happens is, like, when one karta dies, the next eldest person of the family will take up the responsibility. He will take or carry out the business. Yes, he will be taking all the decision. He will be the authorized person. So what happens is, like, the business will be stable. So the business can be terminated only with the mutual consent of all the members available in the organization. So in order to close the organization, is in order to close the Hindu undivided family business, what it has to do is, like, it has to have the mutual consent of all the members of Hindu undivided family business. So the fifth one was, like, minor members. So when coming to joint in the family business, even a minor can also be member of joint in the family business. So the inclusion of an individual into business occurs due to the birth in Hindu undivided family. So what happens is that minor can also be the member of the business organization. There is no rule that only a major person or an adult has to be the member. So it's like, as soon as a baby is born, then he becomes the member of joint Hindu family business. So he becomes a shareholder. He also gets that ownership when coming to joint in the family business. So today we are going to discuss about the merits of joint in the family business. Okay, so when coming to joint in the family business, so there are certain merits. So what are those merits? The first one is effective control. Effective control. So when coming to effective control, Karta here is the eldest person of the organization. He is the one who runs or controls the organization. So he is the eldest member of the family. So he is the one who will be controlling the business organization. So he totally will have the decision making power. So only he will have the decision making power. All the decisions will be taken by Karta all alone. Yes, so the decisions relating to the business organization will be taken by the Karta. Okay, so no other people will have any role in taking any decision. So Karta is absolute decision making power. So what happens is, like, when Karta only he has the decision making power, then what happens is, like, it leads to leads to reduction in conflicts among the members. So what happens is, it totally reduces or avoids conflict among members, as no one can interfere with his right to decide. So when the other members, that is the co-personers, does not have any right to interfere in the decisions taken by the Karta, or in the decisions taken by the organization, what happens, it's like it totally avoids the conflict. So when there is an advantage, like the members in the organization are not taking any decision, and only Karta is taking decision relating to the business organization. Only when one eldest person is taking decision, it's like the others need not bother, or they not get into decision making process. They did not get into, or they will not get into any decision making process. So suppose if the decisions are taken by the members in the organization, if the decisions are taken by the members in the organization, what may happen is, like, there are chances that there may be conflicts or misunderstanding between the members of the organization, because decision taken by one person may not be okay with the other, or the other person will not agree with the decision taken by the one. Okay, so what happens is, like, it may lead to conflicts. But when coming to you are joined in the family business, all the decisions are taken by Karta himself. So this totally avoids conflicts amongst the member. So the reason how it reduces conflict among the member is like they cannot interfere. They cannot interfere. So this also leads to prompt and flexible decision making in the organization. So decision making can be totally flexible. Why? Because no person is entering into the decision making or decisions which is taken by the karta. Karta is solely responsible for taking any decisions, and his decisions will bind all the members of the organization. So when all the decisions or all the decisions are taken by karta, when his decisions bind everyone, it's like the organization goes in a smoother manner without any problems. The second one is continued business existence. Continued business existence. So when coming to continued business existence, so I already told you in a previous class that karta, he will be the eldest member of the business organization. He will be taking all the responsibility. He is the superior person of joint Hindu family business. So the death of karta will not affect the business organization at any cost. So why the death of the karta does not affect the business organization is that, yes, so if one karta dies, what happens is like the next eldest person, of the family, the next eldest person. So if A is karta, if A dies, then what happens? The next eldest person of the family will take the responsibility. Yes, he will take up the responsibility of karta. So he will be called as the next karta. He will be called as the karta for the future transactions which will be done by the business organization. So all the decisions will be taken by the new karta if old karta dies. Yes, okay. So what happens is like the death of the karta, it will never affect the business, as the next eldest member will take up the position. So what happens is like the operations are not terminated. The operations are not terminated. The business does not get terminated because of death of karta. So if karta dies, the next eldest person will take up the responsibility. So here it's like the operation, it goes on continuing. It does not get terminated. It does not get terminated at any cost, and the continuity of business is not threatened. The continuity of business does not get threatened at any cost. So it's like there is a continuity. So if A being a karta, if A dies, then B will take up the responsibility. If B dies, then C will take up the responsibility. Like the next eldest member, they keep taking out the responsibility. They will be taking the responsibility one after another. So there is continuity. It is continuous, and does not terminate the business organization at any cost. It never terminates the business organization. So the business organization goes very smoothly without any problems. So the third one is limited liability of members. Limited liability of members. So when coming to limited liability of members, the liability of all the co-partners, except karta will be limited. The liability of all the co-person. Co-person is nothing but the members of the organization. The members of the organization except karta. So all the members of the organization, except karta will have limited liability. All the members of the organization except karta will have limited liability. So karta in the organization will have unlimited liability. He will have unlimited liability. So like I told you, if the business asset is not sufficient to pay the liability, the business asset is not sufficient to pay the liability or debt. Then what has to be done is like the personal asset of Karta has to be brought into the business in order to pay the debts. The personal asset of Karta has to be brought into the business in order to pay the debts. In order to pay the debt. So when coming to the members, the liability of all the co-partners, that is members, are limited. Okay, so the liability of all the co-partners except Karta is limited to their share in the business, and consequently their risk is well defined and it is totally precise. Okay, so it's totally precise. It is totally precise. Okay, so only Karta will have unlimited liability. So if there if the liability is more, then Karta will have to be bearing that particular liability. So when coming to members, it's like members will be only liable to the extent of share available in the business. They will be liable only to the extent of share available in the business. So not more than that. Not more than that. They'll be only liable to the extent of share available, to extent of their share available. But Karta will have unlimited liability. We'll have to get as what you will have to get as personal asset in case the business asset is not sufficient to pay the liability. So the fourth one is increased loyalty and cooperation. Increased loyalty and cooperation. So when coming to increased loyalty and cooperation, increased loyalty and cooperation. So the business is run by the members of a family. Business is run by the members of a family. So there is a greater sense of loyalty. There is a greater sense of loyalty. So since the business is run by the members of a family, there is a greater sense of loyalty towards one another. So the pride in the growth of business is linked to the achievement of the family. So if the business grows, then it is a achievement for the family. If the business grows, then it is the achievement for the family. It is the achievement for the family. Okay, so like I told you, it is a pride. So the our family gets pride in the growth of the business. So the growth of business is totally linked to the achievement. So if the organization does good things, if the organization carries out what good work, yes, it carries out business in a lawful manner, then it is a pride. So the growth, it is totally linked. So it leads to achievement of the family. So there is a loyalty. There is a loyalty towards one another. So they can find loyalty. There is a loyalty, of the sense of loyalty towards one another. So this helps in securing better cooperation from all the members. So obviously, when a family runs the business, so what happens? There is greater cooperation by all the members of the organization. There will be a greater cooperation by all the members of the organization. So all the members cooperate with one another for the betterment of the organization. All the what members of the organization, they cooperate together for the betterment of the organization, which in turn helps in what growing the business, or it leads to pride in the growth of business. So the next concept is the limitations of joint Hindu family business. So what are the limitations? So when joint in the family business has certain advantages of its own, so it certainly has certain limitation in its own way. So what are the limitation of joint in the family business? Okay, so the first one is limited resource. So when coming to limited resource, the joint in the family business faces the problem of a limited capital. So how it faces the problem of limited capital is that it totally depends on the ancestral property. It totally depends on ancestral property. So this limits the scope of expansion of business. So it totally what depends on the amount of the ancestral property. So what is the amount of ancestral property an organization or joint stock company has? Yes, so what is the amount of ancestral property a joint stock company has? So if the organization that is a joint stock or joint Hindu family business as the joint in the family business as a good amount of ancestral property. If a joint in the family business as a good amount of ancestral property, then the resources available with it will be relatively more. So sometimes there are chances that the ancestral property will be relatively very less. Ancestral property will be relatively very less. So when the ancestral property is less, so obviously it leads to problem in the business organization. So the main problem which the organization has to face is limited resource. So limited capital plays a very important role here. So when organization comes across limited capital, when joined in the family business, it comes across limited capital, then it will have to struggle. So limited capital, so the reason why it faces limited capital is because of the ancestral property. So they can run the business only to the extent of capital which is provided or which is available in the ancestral property, so not anything more than that. So this totally limits the scope for expansion of business. So the expansion of business is a tough task or a difficult task when it comes to the joint in the family business. So if you're planning to expand your business that is joint in the family business, then it is very difficult because of a reason that most of the time you will have a limited amount of resources. So it becomes a drawback for you. So the second one is unlimited liability of Karta. So I already told you that when coming to your liability, only Karta will be having unlimited liability. So all the members except Karta, all the other members except Karta as limited liability. So the members what personal assets are totally safe. They did not get their personal asset if the business faces any losses or in order to pay the excess amount of debt. So if the organization has taken debt and if is not able to repay, then the members of the organization did not get their personal asset into the business organization. But what Karta has to do is like, you will have to get us personal asset into the business organization if in case the business assets are not sufficient to pay the liability. So you take debt. So once you take debt, obviously you will have to repay it. So when coming to repaying, it's like the person who is Karta is totally responsible for repaying all the debts. So the other members will have limited liability. So they are liable only to the extent of their share available in the business. But Karta, he will have to bear the remaining losses that arises from the business organization. So what you will have to do is like you will have to get a personal asset into the business organization in order to pay the debt. So the karta is totally burdened. So one reason how he is burdened is that he has the responsibility of decision making. So the decisions which are taken by karta should not affect the business organization at any cost. The decisions which is taken by karta should not affect the business organization at any cost. Okay, so if this is one drawback, the second one is like it will also carry on the management of business. So you will have to take care of all the things which takes place there. Okay, you will have to carry on all the things, or you will have to look after each and everything which takes place in the organization. So management or the responsibility of management totally lies in the hands of karta. So he will be controlling the business, he will be managing the business. One thing is he is taking the decision, one thing is he takes the decision. Okay, the second thing is he is the one who is taking care of the management of business. One more disadvantage what a karta has is the unlimited liability. So like I told you, his personal assets or personal property are totally not safe. So if the business comes across losses, then if the business asset is not sufficient to pay the liability, then karta will have to get his personal asset into the business organization. He will have to get his personal asset into business organization, which is a problematic task, which is really a disadvantage. Why? Because his personal assets are always under danger. His personal assets are always under danger. So it is a drawback for karta. So the third one is dominance of karta. So when coming to the dominance of karta, so when coming to dominance of karta, the karta he individually manages the business. Yes, he totally manages, he individually manages the business. So what happens is like it may sometimes not be acceptable by the other members of the organization. So the decisions which are taken by karta may not be what acceptable by the other members of the organization. Okay, so like I told you, karta individually manages the business, which may at times not be acceptable to the other members. So it will not be, or the decisions which are taken by karta sometimes may not be accepted by the others. Others will not be in a position, or they may not like the decisions which are taken by karta. So they may be sometimes against to what karta is doing. So sometimes karta he takes certain decisions and that will not be acceptable, or that is not acceptable by the other members, that is co-partners in the organization. So this leads to conflict in the organization. There are chances that it may leads to conflict. So conflicts may arise amongst the members of the organization, or between the members and the karta. Okay, because of a reason that karta is dominating, or karta is taking all the decision relating to the business organization. Okay, so this may cause conflict amongst them, and there are chances that it may lead to breakdown of the family unit sometimes. So there are chances that because of this reason, there are chances that the business organization may get closed. It is Indo undivided family business may get closed because of this reason. So the fourth one is limited managerial skill. limited managerial skill. So when coming to limited managerial skill, so since karta cannot be expert in all the areas of management, since karta you can't expect that karta will be expert in all the areas of management. Sometimes there are chances that he may be weak in certain areas of the management. Yes, so since karta cannot be expert in all the areas of management, the business may suffer as a result of his unwise decision. So sometimes there are chances that karta may take decisions which is not wise, or which is not correct, or which may not work well in the business organization. So his inability to decide effectively may result into poor profits, or sometimes there are chances that it may sometimes lead the business towards losses as well. Okay, so it is very simple that karta, who is the what head of the family business, he will have to be expert in order to take the decision. So sometimes there are chances that karta is not well versed in all the areas of management. So there are chances that his decisions may go wrong. There are chances that his decisions may go wrong. So when it goes wrong, then what happens is like the business may sometimes come across losses. Business may sometimes come across losses. So what you have to do is like you have to see that karta is taking up a proper decision. So this is a drawback. This is a drawback. Why? Because if karta is not efficient in taking all the decisions, then obviously the organization will have to suffer less profit sometimes, and sometimes the organization will come across losses also. So this joint in the family business is on the decline because of diminishing number of joint Hindu families in the country. So nowadays you rarely find any joint Hindu families. So you don't find any undivided families now. So most of the time you find nuclear families, which is a drawback. And nowadays it's like the joint in the family business are totally getting reduced. They are declining day by day because of less number of joint in the families.